I'll just make sure I'm live, and then we can, no issues, and then we can jump straight in. Okay, welcome back, everyone, to jikGeek in the Week. We haven't done one of these for a while. If you join us in the chat, great to have you with us as always. Drop a like, drop a subscribe if you're not part of the jikGeek community, and let me know your thoughts in the chat about everything we're discussing today. We're going over the latest George Martin blog posts. We've got some George Martin news to go through. He's not a happy bunny, particularly by the sounds of it about House of the Dragon. So we'll be diving into that. And yeah, quick hello to our special guest, Vargr. How's it going, buddy? Great to have you with us again.
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Good to be back. Great to have you back on, pal. I loved it. I loved the season 1 and 2 ranking we did a couple of weeks back. That was fab, man. So great to have you back on. Slating. Well, so we're going to be going through the George Martin stuff. We're going to be talking with the Winds of Winter and House of the Dragon season 2. Probably touch on season 1 as well. If you want to, I know you're absolutely dying to rip into Sarah Hess, so we can do that afterwards as well, if you want.
Oh yeah, I've got some things to say.
yeah, that's why I bring you on, pal. So yeah, we'll be diving into all of that. I think we're going to start with George's latest blog post. Now, any kind of thoughts or comments before we dive in, Vargr?
Just a load of dribble in his blog post. That's about it.
Yeah,
but
you
yeah,
did
do
say
get some
offline.
good stuff. You do get some good stuff though. He's clearly not happy.
He's not. Right. We're just gonna scroll down a bit because there is a good bit, and then we get into the meat on the bone here. So, so he talks about being away from his computer and traveling from July 15th until August. A lot of things that needed saying did not get said, which is interesting. And we're going to go through a few of these because I was going to do a podcast a couple of weeks and months ago, but just never got round to it. So we can go through all of the kind of relevant ones. I'll have to pull those up actually as well because we've got them in our Twitter messages about which ones we're going to go through. So I've got them. So he's been away. A lot of things that needed saying didn't get said apparently, and God, he doesn't have to talk about himself. I'm glad I took that trip. I mean, thanks, George. Thanks for letting me. I suppose it is a blog, is it? Well, it's not a blog actually. So, yeah. Stress levels beforehand were off the charts. My God, you know what that means, don't you? He hasn't done any bloody.
Yep.
He hasn't done anything for the Winds of Winter. That means
you sat around thinking.
I think he did.
Done.
I think I when we get onto it, man. When we get onto the Winds of Winter, I got a couple of hot takes. I'm telling you.
I'll be glad to hear them.
Yeah, I feel better at the moment. The plane sat down in Belfast. We headed off to Ashford Meadow to see the tournament. Now that could be, I don't know what tournament he's talking about, but it could be the Duncan Egg stuff. That
maybe.
We had 5 great days in Belfast, and that made me feel so much better. I'm glad for you, George. Well done. The rest of the trip was fun as well. A splendid combination of business and pleasure. That included visits to Belfast, Amsterdam, London, Oxford, and Glasgow. So those visits, I think, were with his publisher, which we'll get onto because there's another blog post from earlier on in the year about that as well. Right, here we go. This is what I want to jump straight into, Vargr. I do not look forward to other posts I need to write about everything that's gone wrong with House of the Dragon. Oh my God. But I need to do that, and I will. Not today, though. Oh, typical George. Today is Zozobra's day when we turn away from the gloom. Oh my God.
Oh,
So,
it's just...
I guess we're diving straight into this, right? What do you think he's unhappy about?
I mean, it could be several things. I think he's unhappy probably about Nettles is one of the things.
Yep.
And I know I saw on another post about the not representing dragons well when it comes to sheep stealer.
Yep.
Yeah, but it could be a plethora of things. I'm not in his mind, so it's hard to think what he could be mad about.
Right, let's put this to the chat. Right, what is JRRM not happy about in Hot D S2? So we're saying Nettles, I definitely think is one. Blood and cheese, prophecy stuff.
Prophecy stuff. I could see him being frustrated with the prophecy stuff. Yeah.
Right, and we'll put another comment below option there as well. So if you are joining us in the chat, make sure you have your say in our chat poll. And if you could drop a like on YouTube, if you are watching live, that would be fantastic. Or if you're not, I suppose. So yeah, have your say in the chat poll. I mean, the Nettles thing, he's definitely not happy about. Although I can understand why they did the Nettles piece, and I think we touched on that in the ranking video. In terms of, because you've got this character in Raina or Baylor or whatever the bloody hell her name is, I can never remember.
Raina, yeah,
Raina, that's the one. But she doesn't do anything in the books, does she? So we're
no. From what I know, Raina in the books doesn't she just stay in the Vale?
She does. So they're introducing this character, which they need to introduce, but she's got nothing to do. So it kind of makes sense as to why they've done that. And I've got this impression he's going to be more annoyed about probably, I think, more about Alicent and Rhaenyra being that whole, the kind of the new story arc that they've brought in, the Alicent and Rhaenyra stuff, meeting a couple of times, the prophecy and the visions, though, I've got a feeling
a couple of times which make no sense.
Which made no sense, you're right. Them two meeting twice. Was it twice? In the Sept and then at the end?
Yeah, they met in episode 3 in the Sept, and in episode 8, Alicent come to Rhaenyra on Dragonstone.
That's correct.
And just decided to give up her sons.
Yeah,
casually.
Casually giving up her sons and completely shitting all over her character and going quite frankly against any sort of character development that we'd seen in the show, because obviously they're completely different in the books from what we understand.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Alicent, she's not really seen in the books that much. I know she's obviously in King's Landing, but she's not a main piece.
It's true.
And and then you got Rhaenyra, who is still grieving Luke's death at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Might be wrong though.
So Nettles, I can see why they've done that change, and I think he can see. I'm not saying he's okay with it, right? But and yes, it will probably turn up on this blog post. But I'm under the impression it's not wrong of them to have done that. It's like, in my eyes, it's like a sensible change. I don't like it, but it's sensible.
Yeah, I mean, if I get into George's head, I mean, he got kind of screwed over in Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
When they stopped communicating with him.
Yeah.
So he's given this to Ryan Condal this time, and he's been shit over again when it comes to his writing. So
yeah.
I can understand his frustrations towards it, because I think we're all pretty frustrated after season 2.
100%. 100%. I mean, I'm still pissed off about Game of Thrones season 8. I am, and I will be bitter about that. I don't know. I don't know when that's going to I know that sounds crazy, but
I know. I feel. I mean,
I can't
season
understand
2
how
of
they
House.
Sorry,
No, you can go first.
I just can't understand how they butchered that so bad and get in season 8, man. I really can't. And yeah, but season 2, you're right. It's.
I mean, it's season 2. At this point, I would have watched. I mean, with season 1, I watched it multiple times.
Yep.
With season 2, I've probably watched an episode. Like episode 4, I probably watched 2 times, 3 times.
Yep.
But apart from that, I've watched it once and just.
Yeah, there are. I mean, apart from episode 4, there aren't really. Episode 2 was decent, and I kind of look back on our ranking video now, and I wish we would have moved that probably further up, up the rankings, because I watched that again a couple of days ago, and it was a fantastic episode, especially that Aegon and Otto scene. That just kind of made it for me. And to be fair, the whole twins thing at the end was a decent ending compared to the other. Like, if you put it into context, versus the other episodes, it's probably
it's probably, I'd say, second, third best.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just going back to George Nettles, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be. I think it'll come up in this post that he's going to make. Blood and Cheese, I'm pretty sure if we scroll down, he talked about Blood and Cheese.
Yeah, didn't he like it?
So this other post then, Here There Be Dragons, because this is a pretty lengthy one. I trust you all caught the red.
4, yeah.
Ah, that's right. So that was.
This is when he got into the logo, the emblem for
the dragon feet. Yeah.
Yeah. He went on a rampage about the bloody different types of dragons, waffling.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Oh yeah, they've got 2 feet. And
So in season 7 they introduced that 4-legged one. When Daenerys was crossing the sea, I'm pretty sure, and it was on her banners.
Oh, on the boats.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the boats, and they wanted to follow from Game of Thrones lore, which is why they used the 4-legged dragon.
Got ya.
Which made no damn sense.
No.
And then he waffles on about wyverns and dragons and all this stuff.
They bond with men, some men, and why and how they do that will come to eventually be revealed in more detail in The Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring and some in Blood and Fire. When we get them, George. He talks a lot about dragons here, doesn't he?
Yeah, I just think he has too many projects.
Right, we'll come back to those books.
I think he was talking about a screenplay, wasn't he?
So I think just recapping on the projects at the minute, you've got House of the Dragon, you've got Dunk and Egg, you've got, I think there's a screenplay coming to the West End about Robert's Rebellion. You've then got Nymeria and the 10,000 Ships, which I don't know if it's been greenlit, but it's definitely in some sort of development phase. Here we go. Blood, Cheese and Grief. Made a visit to London last November. Checked in with the editors and publishers at my voyage. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I need to get to the meat. Also got a sneak peek at the first 2 episodes of season 2, A Son for a Son and Rhaenyra the Cruel. What a great way to start the season. The directing was superb. Game of Thrones veteran Alan Taylor directed the first episode and Claire Kilner the second. Both of them did a magnificent job, and I cannot say enough about the acting.
I mean, the acting was great in episode 1. I don't think that was really an issue anyone had. I think it's more so the direction they took.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just trying to find that part where because I'm pretty sure he kind of has a bit of a dig on them about. Here we go.
Oh yeah, the dog.
And Pia Saban gave a wrenching, powerful, heartbreaking performance as Helena, Aegon's doomed, haunted queen and mother to his children. Saban's performance is especially noteworthy. Very little of what she brings to the part was in my source material. Last season, Hot D essentially recreated King Viserys, giving him a much different backstory and far more depth. And a jolly party-loving king are created for following Fire and Blood. I talked about it last year, so I won't repeat myself. Damn, but Paddy Considine was glorious in the role. The Hot D team have done the same here with Helena. In the book, she's plump, pleasant, and happy. A dragon rider. Helena's greatest joy is life is to take to the skies on the back of a dragon Dreamfire. That's completely the opposite of to be honest, of the Helena that we got in season 1. Season 2, sorry.
I think we've only had like one glimpse of Dreamfire, and that was in episode 7. No, episode
Yeah.
7. Episode 6 of season 1.
Yeah. She's got no ambition to ride that dragon.
Yeah. I'm interested in these ... when he said those were born in the writer's room. ... usually, you know.
Oh, yeah. Nor is her gift. None of these strangeness she displays in the show was evidence in the book, nor a gift for prophecy. Those were born in the writer's room ... Yeah, you're right. It's like, oh, they made something new up. But once I met the show's version of Helena, I couldn't take any issue. Helena is a richer and more fascinating character, and in Rhaenyra the Corgi, you can scarcely take your eyes off her.
So I think he has issues with some of the characters, but because of the actors' performances, he can hardly take issue with them.
He's almost like he's letting them get away with it, isn't he?
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with Viserys that it was a great way to use the character, even though it was different. But I don't know, Helena's just weird.
It was a bit weird, you're right. And I probably should have seen this coming, but as soon as I finished watching that blood and cheese scene, it just didn't sit right with me. It was, it just was proper off. And I
think they needed to include Maelor. It just didn't make sense without him there.
You're spot on. Yep, you're spot on. And the fact that what's her face, Alicent wasn't kind of involved with the whole scene as well. I know there was some issues or some
she was involved, all right, just not the way we wanted her.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. She was busy, weren't she? Yeah. I think the way they went about like strolling through the castle, and yes, it is revealed that Kristen Cole it was slacking off, but I just think that was a bit too easy. The fact that they didn't kind of mimic the book and the words and that them banger lines that we heard from Fire and Blood, and the whole setup of the scene as well without Alicent. And you're right, I don't think it works as impactful without Maelor.
Especially without the choice.
I think you're right, man. Vargr, that choice, the fact that she, even if it was like, I reckon they probably could have got away with something like, we can't tell which one is the boy. You've got to choose. And imagine she picks the girl and they kill the boy or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they could have.
Yeah, but I mean,
that away.
Yeah, the scene was weird in general. I mean, I think it was Blood asking which one's the boy. I mean,
oh yes, he did. Yeah, you're right.
And then she's replying
right.
with an easy way how you can tell it's a boy. And then they're still asking Helena to choose.
That's true. That's true.
Well, not to choose really, just to point out which one's the boy.
Yeah, I think they could have done that part a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, see, I've got it now. The only part of the show. So let's highlight this bit. The only part of the show drawing criticism is the conclusion of the Blood and Cheese storyline, which ending was powerful, I thought, ... again. A gut punch, especially for viewers who had never read Fire and Blood. For those who have read the book, however, there's a lot to be said about that, but this is not the play. Oh, for
So
God's
he's done it
sake.
again. He knows it's going to anger fans. He knew Blood and Cheese would probably anger it when he watched it. So it's and he's doing it again. It's like, oh, this is not the place to do it. Is he doing that for legal reasons?
Mate, you know what though? Imagine he came out like the day after Blood and Cheese happened, and he like shit all over the episode.
Yeah.
I think HBO would probably, yeah, you're right, take him to the cleaners, and the ratings probably would have gone through the floor as well.
Yeah, I think you see a lot in these posts. Oh, this isn't the place to do it. Well, when is it the place? Surely
Exactly.
you're gonna make a separate post about it. We're yet to see it.
Exactly. It'd be in what? How many years? 12 years until we get that post, maybe?
Yeah.
The issues are too complicated. Somewhere down the line, I will do a separate post about all these issues raised by Blood and Cheese and mail all the missing. There's a lot to say. So mail all the missing. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's
I like that.
Yeah, I don't think he likes the fact Maylor was not included. Just by that.
No. Sorry, I've just lost the share. I'll just get that back up. So do you think then that this post that he's referring to in the Blood and Cheese blog post is the same post as this one he's referring to in this new post that he did a couple of days ago? So I need to right everything wrong with House of the Dragon, but I need to do that, and I will. Not today, though.
Yeah, obviously, I think everything when he's mentioned House, they all connect.
We're not missing anything,
he keeps saying, "Oh, we can talk about this another day." You know, it's getting ridiculous now. It's like Winds of Winter at this point.
I'm telling you, man. I reckon he does that. Like,
when's your own review coming, George?
Yeah. So he's pledging to respond to everything that's gone wrong with season 2. And in all fairness, I thought I was missing a blog post because, and I know he'd done that Blood and Cheese one, but I thought he'd kind of done a follow-up, but clearly he hasn't. So we're expecting then we're expecting a massive blog post from him soon then.
Yeah, we say expect, but we probably won't get it. There might be something with in his contract with HBO that's stopping him from saying certain stuff, which is why he was very vague when each of the episodes came out about stuff he didn't like.
Very true. Very, very true, Vargr. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's probably some sort of legal thing then, and he doesn't want to be taken to the cleaners about this.
Yeah, he might not want to be taken off the project either, because obviously that's what Dan and Dave did. They stopped calling them. Is it Dan and Dave? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
Dumb and Dumber. Yeah.
I'll have a name for Ryan Condal too if he doesn't get rid of We Know Who.
Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest. I think that the three of them.
That's the one.
I'm sure the three of them have gone to the same bloody school of writing HBO episodes. What were you saying to me? What did she do before, Sarah Hess?
She wrote a few episodes of House MD back in the day.
Have you ever watched that?
I've watched a few episodes. I don't know if I've watched her episode specifically.
Got ya.
But yeah, there's some like YouTube comments from like 12 years ago about Sarah Hess's writing, and it pretty much lined up with which has been complained about now. So it's yeah, I'd need to look into it more, but it was interesting.
Oh my god! So it's kind of yeah, it's been there all along. I'm just trying to have a
Yeah,
look
but
at
I
the
mean,
work.
her writing's obviously an issue because she's been the she's been the one that's to write the 2 worst episodes of season 2.
Yeah,
So
100%.
the worst rated ones at least. So there's obviously an issue with her writing. I think that was episode 3 and episode 8, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! Both of those episodes just so
Yeah,
happen to
had
have had what's her
Bren
name?
Allison or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Raylicent.
Raylan, that's probably it. Yeah, but I mean, if we go on about Sarah Hess, I'll never stop. Probably save that for later.
Yeah, I think so. Right, I am getting her IMDb page uploaded though. Just got right. So we finished on the blogs. I need to find that next article that I had up about season 2. Says pretty much the same things. Let's switch to this one. So this is from the Wrap. House of the Dragon, George R.R. Martin pledges response to everything that's gone wrong with season 2. I mean, it's so what have we got then? So we've got Nettles, we've got Rhaenyra and Alicent, we've got Blood and Cheese, we've got the White Walker's prophecy vision nonsense. Anything else? Anything else that's gone wrong?
No,
The
I can see him
Dragon
probably.
Sigil.
Yeah, the Dragon Sigil, obvious one. I can see him liking episode 4. I'm pretty sure he said that. The Dragon
Yep.
Battle.
Yep.
I think he compared it to another one in Game of Thrones. Might be wrong though. Yeah, I think that's. Do you think he'll be complaining about Benjicott and all that with the Blackwoods?
Oh, you know what? If he's complaining about feet on a dragon, I have no doubt he'll be complaining about specifics to do with
And maybe even the North stuff as well. The fact that was
Battle of the Burning Wall.
scrapped.
Yes, that's the next big thing. Because within that storyline, you've got I was going to say Sarah Hess, you've got Sarah Snow, you've got the potential for the dragon to be laying eggs. You've got the fucking hell, Vargr, the Pact of Ice and Fire. How important is that, man, in the book?
That's. I mean, I suppose we'll see. I don't know if
Like,
isn't there they're probably going to be mentioning it in Winds of Winter or.
so you reckon then that could be why he's probably asked them not to include that, maybe because he doesn't want them to butcher it or give any massive spoilers away for the book potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them getting rid of certain things because of the 8 episode. Them having to go by 8 episodes, which was HBO's decision.
Yeah,
but I know there was a deleted scene. Obviously, in that season 3 trailer we got at the end, we saw the North coming down in the fray.
right.
There's a deleted scene of Cregan being included, which is completely.
Oh, he's the one leading the charge, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's been completely scrapped because they had to go down to 8 episodes. Because I have a feeling they were going to do possibly the Battle of the Gullet in episode 10 if they were sticking with 10 episodes.
Got you.
I mean, we see shows doing this all the time where they're lowering it. I mean, season 8 had 6 episodes, which you know how that turned out.
Yeah, it
is
just
season 4 gonna have 6? Finish off House of the Dragon with 6 episodes.
I really hope not, man. Honestly, I really hope that they stick this landing. Like next season's going to be the one though, because what have we got next season? Battle of the Gullet. We've got the sacking of King's Landing, and we've got potentially the Battle of the God's Eye.
We should definitely have the Battle of God's Eye next season. I don't see how they will be able to justify season 4 if they don't have Battle of the God's Eye in season 3.
Yeah.
because if anything, season 4 should be mainly focused on after the war has kind of settled down mildly.
Yeah,
With
I
the
guess.
whole Aegon the Third and Cregan stuff.
Yeah, you got going backwards. You've got the whole rioting thing, haven't you, as well, with the shepherd?
Yeah, who I have a feeling they're going to replace.
Okay, talk to me more about that.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like they're setting up Massaria
I
to
see.
potentially replace the shepherd.
I see, because she's all
about
about the
people,
people.
obviously.
Yeah, the common folk, isn't she? Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, that's just a theory for now. But,
Got you.
hopefully not. And also, I don't see them replace it. I don't see them using the shepherd because he's rather unknown before all that happens.
Very true, and he's quite an important character.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good hot take, and one I think we'll have to bring in when we do our House of the Dragon season 2, 3, 4 House of the Dragon across the board theory video. I want to get back on them.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
What happens.
Yeah. We might be cancelled by then, slating Sarah Hess too much.
She'll come for us.
I think she will. I think she'll be watching tonight. Right, I'm just checking
out. Is this
out
an interview with Condor then?
No, this is another George Martin one. So George Martin clearly didn't love everything about House of the Dragon. He plans to let everyone know what he did very soon. Martin posted on his blog. I did not look forward to. It's basically going over the blog post.
I think there's a thing with Ryan Condal spoke in a press conference after the finale.
Oh, really? Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one. This is the one I wanted. Right, House of the Dragon showrunner explains anticlimactic season 2 finale. We wanted to build anticipation. Ryan Condal says the hope was to give the anticipated Battle of the Gullet the time and space it deserved, which is fair. And I know they've been massively shafted by HBO with the writer's strike, and they couldn't change any of the scripts, and they were told to go from 10 to 8 episodes.
Yeah, I think they did have the writers still in the room, though, just not able to give, obviously, writing stuff. I think I heard that from an interview with Sarah Hess.
Nice. Yeah, I think they could like continue to film and stuff, but they just couldn't change the scripts.
Yeah,
and that's evident in that episode 8, man.
Yeah, I can see them wanting to give the Gullet the time it needs, but I think the only way they're going to ace the Gullet is if they give Jace the screen time he needs, which in season 2 he had a few scenes, but
yeah, it was a bit lackluster, wasn't it?
Yeah, mewing all the time.
Yeah, mewing and pouting and posing and and moaning.
Got Aemond on the greens and then Jace on the blacks.
I know, man. It's like, yeah, I just want some. If I'm honest, you know what I reckon this season, and I could be cancelled for this, but I reckon season 2 was missing masculine energy. Because
definitely, obviously, we've had the discussion of the whole, they wanted to make the women look good, and then so they've had Jace have some of his ideas just completely stripped from him. They've had the North, which was a big part of his story, gone.
Yeah.
With Daemon, they've just had him have dreams the entire season.
Yeah.
Which included him completely losing his mind and being weak.
And he was asking Alice for help, which I don't. That's not Daemon.
It's like you didn't ask your brother for help in season 1. Why are you going to ask this random witch?
Exactly. That is kind of doing stuff against you as well.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a scene in episode 3 of season 1 between Rhaenyra and Viserys before they cut to the Triarchy,
Right.
where Rhaenyra said, "Did he make call for help?" And Viserys said he'd sooner die. So that's kind of the man we're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he's got to ask help from a witch he barely knows. It's just like,
it just doesn't make sense.
He doesn't even want to ask his own wife for help. Why would he ask her?
It just didn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Damon's character was all out there. I mean, the man had some funny business with his mother in a dream. So.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! And that's the thing, right? They kind of changed a lot of it. They sacked off a lot of the story arcs, and then they give us weird scenes like that with him and his mom getting it on. I'm like,
see, the thing is, I can understand them wanting Matt Smith for every episode because he is a big name.
Yeah.
But the fact is, Damon didn't. We don't know what Damon did while he was at Harrenhal. So they've added these dreams as something for Matt Smith to do 5 to 10 minutes every episode, even 15, because he is the main character. So they should have just shown him preparing for war, really.
They should have. They could have got him. I don't know. Maybe
they could have included him in the Battle of the Burning Mill, and I wouldn't mind. I don't know if he was there originally, but
they could have done that. They could have sent him around gathering armies himself rather than.
Yeah, but instead he just stayed at Harrenhal.
Exactly. He just sat around and did. Basically, he did. I know he gathered the army, but he basically did nothing, did he?
Yeah, relied on the Blackwoods, and I mean they did the Blackwoods dirty, in my opinion. But
maybe that's another thing George is going to is going to be very unhappy
seen as
with.
like the big villains of the bloody Riverlands.
Yeah. Right, what's Ryan Condor got to say here? So, House of the Dragon fans who were expecting Battle of the Gullet in season 2 were disappointed. Yes, we were. But showrunner Ryan Condor says the wait will be worth it. It bloody better be, mate. I tell you. Imagine it's not, Vargr. Imagine it's like the fucking middest episode ever. I think there'll be war. I think
episode 3.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine we can't see anything, or it's like
I remember similar sayings from Dan and Dave.
Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber. You'll look forward to it. It's like, no, don't put that on it. You'll expect too much.
Exactly. Couldn't bloody see anything for starters.
I think that's the thing with season 2. I mean, with season 1, the expectations weren't high because of season 8.
Yes.
So when you do a banger like season 1, I don't know if they were just expecting the same expectations for season 2.
I think they were. You got a great point there, and because season 1 was
season 1 was meant to be the build up. It was meant to be, and season 2 is all out action with many battles. I thought we were going to have like 4 or 5 battles in season 2.
Yeah.
What do we get? I think we got 1. 2 if you count the Red Sowing, which wasn't really a battle. It was just people dying by a dragon.
Exactly. It was just bringing people together and dragons together. So we got 1 battle. We got a lot of kind of quick and dirty scenes with dragons, like, the one at the end of the Red Sowing where Aemon just so happens to get onto Vhagar and fly towards
travel like 400 miles.
Exactly, in about 30 seconds, all for him to say, "Oh, I'm not really feeling that," and just just kind of reverse and come back home. Yeah. I imagine that scene, especially the bit with Rhaenyra and that, it was a banger scene. It looked great, but they probably could have took that 20 million in CGI and give us.
Yeah, I mean that's that scene with Rhaenyra. I think it was just to show her looking all powerful. To be honest, it reminded me of the Rhaenys scene in episode 9. Just there for flair.
Yeah,
because it looked cool.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
I mean, what's she doing? Just randomly walking. Because I'm guessing she didn't know Aemon was coming beforehand, unless she sent Ulf to King's Landing. So the fact she's just standing there, looking towards the ocean when he's coming just doesn't make much sense to me.
No, agree. It's almost like she knew he was coming.
I mean, that it looked, obviously the elf flying over King's Landing, it looked good. But I just don't understand why he's doing it. It feels like we missed the scene where Rhaenyra was like, "Oh, go there," just like tease them, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of season 2. Just scenes have been left out. Just
it feels like, because that to cut stuff into 8 episodes apart from 10, it's like they've had to go through and pretty heavily chop some of these episodes apart. And
but the thing is, the
like
8 episodes was before they even started shooting, so it's.
Say that again.
The 8 episodes decision came while they were still writing, I believe. I think the original season 2 plan was like 16 episodes or something like that, and it was cut into 2.
Right.
So 8 episodes for season 2, 8 episodes for season 3.
Ah.
But obviously, that they control how long they want an episode to be.
That's true. Yeah, because we basically got 10 episodes worth of TV, didn't we?
Yeah, obviously in
terms of time.
Obviously, if someone watches it on Sky or on HBO, then they might have to stay within like an hour and a half. But I don't see why they would.
No,
they could do 2 hours if they wanted to.
Yeah. It's it for me. It was a disappointing ending. I mean, what's this got here? The finale concludes with nearly all the various gathered armies marching to what seems like all-out war. One of these mustered forces.
Sorry, I'll be 1 moment.
No problem. I'll just read through this. One of these mustered forces, the Triarchy, who, thanks to the mud wrestling skills of Tywin Lannister, which I didn't think was a very good scene, have been recruited by Team Green to bust Corlys Valerian's blockade of the Gullet. This leads to one of the bloodiest sea battles in Westerosi history, the Battle of the Gullet, which we should have got really at the end of this season, 100%. So Condor explained that they wanted to do the Battle of the Gullet justice and build anticipation. We were trying to give the Gullet, which is arguably the most anticipated, well, I would say maybe the second most anticipated action event of Fire and Blood, trying to give it the time and space it deserved.
Sorry about that.
You good, pal?
Had a call. Yeah, had a call. So.
No problems. Just going through this. Just Ryan Condor giving us his excuses. I know everyone wants this to come out every summer. It's just that show is so complex. We're really making multi-feature films every season, which is fair. So I apologise for the wait. But I will just say, if Rook's Rest and the Red Sowing were good, then the team that we have together, we're going to pull off a hell of a win for the Battle of the Gullet. Let's see.
I mean, yeah, I don't have a doubt that it won't look good. Because I mean, when it comes to battles, they all look good.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping the payoff is good because
it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just obviously we want the death that happens to be impactful. Like a Rob and Catelyn type impactful.
Yes.
Which, I mean, obviously they couldn't do it with Blood and Cheese because we didn't know Jaehaerys. But for a certain character that we've known over 3 seasons, you should be able to pull it off if you show them enough.
Does that mean then, because you're right, we haven't seen that character that much in season 2, really. We have here and there.
But yeah. We have some good scenes with him.
Do you think we'll see the Battle of the Gullet in season 2 to build up maybe more tension in episode 1? Sorry, not season 2. Episode 1 for the Gullet, the Battle of the Gullet to take place in episode 2.
I don't know. From the finale, it looks like they're going to switch things around and have King's Landing take place first.
Got you.
I can see them doing a similar thing they did with the Battle of Rook's Rest and having it halfway through the season.
Yep.
Which, if they do that, I'm fine with that. It gives them plenty of time to build upon that character.
Yeah.
His relationship with the dragon seeds and all that. But yeah, we'll have to. I don't know. Yeah, but it does look they're doing like King's Landing first, just from the way you were speaking, how they were already armoring up. You know,
that's true.
Yeah.
So that'll be episode 1. Episode 2 and 3 maybe filler.
I think we'll see. I think we'll see Aemon and Cole take Harrenhal.
Yes, because I reckon you're right. Because Damon's going to be coming back with Rhaenyra, isn't he? So
if they stick with
the
what
storyline,
happens, but I have a feeling he may stay in the Riverlands while they take King's Landing.
Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for this House of the Dragon theory video now because you're drumming up the cogs, man.
There's a lot of
you're drumming up the cogs in the brain. I'm telling you, you're drumming them up.
Yeah.
Right, let's finish this piece on the Gullets. So we're going to pull off a hell of a win with the Gullets. The battle itself takes place in, you guessed it, the Gullet is a major trade route in King's Landing. It was evident in season 2 that Corlys's control of the passage was having an effect on the small folk in King's Landing. The lack of food and other supplies were turning the commoners against the royalty. Otto pitched before he was fired that they employ the Toriarchy and use their naval fleet to break through the blockade, which is what they've done. The battle is bloody and fair and also gives the Dragon Seeds their first real battle experience atop their dragons. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'd forgotten that the Dragon Seeds get involved with the Battle of the Gullet as well.
Yeah, they're all there, I'm pretty sure.
I'd forgotten about it. I thought it was just that character that shall not be named. I didn't.
No, I'm pretty sure he was the one that rallied them all and took them with him.
Got ya. Don't expect all the players to make it out alive. It's interesting. Right. Any final thoughts on House of Dragon, Vargr?
No, not at the moment. Not that I can think of.
No. Okay.
Obviously, yeah, we discussed quite a bit about it. Just hopefully they can do something that will make season 3 worth watching. But
agree.
But they've lowered my expectations, so hopefully I can pick it back up.
I mean, if the Gullet, if they're taking a King's Landing and the Gullet are anything like episode 4, Rook's Rest, then it's going to be a fucking banger episode. It's going to be a banger.
I think season 3 can be great. They just got to drop the Rhaenyra and Alicent stuff.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Fully.
Because Alicent was a prisoner. What are we going to have in season 3? Just Rhaenyra and Alicent playing happy family. Yes. Are we going to have a Rhaenyra and Mysaria for them to?
That's a really good shout. Like, what the hell are they going to do with Alicent in season 3?
Yeah, I mean, even Helena, is she going with Aemond? What's happening? You know,
she clearly doesn't want to get on Dragonback, does she?
She's clearly become sane suddenly, so she should be fine. Having a whole conversation.
Right, we'll move on then from Hot D. We'll move on to the Winds of Winter.
Oh, I love this title.
How about finish the damn books, George? Right, and I couldn't agree more. He's always making fucking excuses. I'm telling you.
I think he's just got too many things. He's got his hands in too many egg baskets.
He has.
No, it's just he's got a screenplay. Why are you doing a screenplay? Did anyone ask for it? I don't remember.
That's the thing, right? They want to capitalize on it. If they're going to
It's like,
waste Robert's
yeah.
Rebellion on a screenplay, then I don't think that's the
We'll see
best.
from the sounds of it. It's called Harrenhal, so I'm guessing it's just a certain part of it.
Yeah, it's just the tourney.
Unless that's just the name of the project. But yeah, I just don't know. He's got House of the Dragon, which it sounds like he's stepped away from season 3 because he's not in the writers' room. We've got
Which
Duncan
hang on, just on that, because that sounds a lot like the direction that they were going with Game of Thrones 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, because he mentioned in one of his blog posts, there's a writers' room in London for season 3. I will not be going.
Correct.
I don't know if he just meant, oh, I can't go to that one, or if he properly meant, no, I'm done. I'm not going to season 3's writers' room.
Yeah.
So it's, again, he's not telling us. He's just dribbling. Yeah, we've got that. I'm pretty sure he's got his hands in some games. Obviously,
he
he
did with
helped
like
with Elden
Ring.
Ring. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
so he might have his hands in another Elden Ring, or even finally a open world Game of Thrones game, which I won't complain about.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not been confirmed. That's just me hoping.
Yeah, that'd be sick. To be fair, though.
Yeah, if they do it right.
Imagine instead of the Winds of Winter and the Dream of Spring, we get the ending spoil in a Game of Thrones video game. That'd be interesting.
Be interesting, yeah. Maybe they'll recreate Game of Thrones. Who knows? But I just think he has his hands in too many things. He needs to focus on writing Winds of Winter because it's going to get to a point where no one will care about it. And I don't know if he has high expectations for himself for it to be perfect. And obviously you've got all these people saying, yeah, I don't know if his expectations have gone up because people are wanting it to be great.
Do you think he's in a position now where he was with A Dance with Dragons, because he had that whole Milanese knot thing?
I think he's doubting himself whether he can pull it off.
Right. So it's not the fact that he's not able, because there was a point in time with A Dance with Dragons where he kind of stopped, or he couldn't get past this.
Yeah.
You know, everyone converging on into Marine, that whole plot.
Yeah. But obviously there was a shorter span between those two books. We're talking, when did the Trips of Rhaenyra the King's? Oh yeah, the change in Alicent's age. I can see him. I mean,
So
changing everyone's age, really.
Yeah. Comment from the Watcher on the Wall. Thanks for the comment. Great to have you with us in the chat. Yeah, I mean the age thing. I think, you know what, you know, one of the point, just snipping back to Hot D, right? One of the points that I liked about season 1 is the change in what they did with the relation. I like the fact that they gave us a relationship between the two of them, Alicent and Rhaenyra. I think it really worked, especially when they were younger.
Yeah, it worked when in the younger versions, because I think they had, great chemistry, the two younger actors.
Yeah.
And I mean, Millie Alcock had great chemistry with everyone. So
Yeah.
especially Damon. But I don't know what it is with these two older actors. I don't like where the characters go, and I really don't like the performance. I think there's too much sorrow. Where's the
I agree.
The anger.
I agree. Whenever I read, and I was going to put this in one of my reviews, right? Whenever I read Alicent on the page, she didn't half remind me of Cersei, with that passion and that fire, and really kind of wanted to do the best for the family and do the best for her kids. With this, I don't see that being adapted on screen.
No, I
You're right. Sorrow is such a good word to kind of wrap that up.
because I mean
And
they've both had, like, Alison's had a grandchild who's had their head removed, right? You've got you've got Rhaenyra, whose child's literally been munched up by a dragon,
yeah,
and you're talking about bloody peace. Like, oh, just what are you doing?
I know.
She had a fiery look in her eye in episode 10 of season 1, right? And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, the whole world's about to burn." We thought she was going to be another Daenerys,
I thought,
which we
yeah, I
can
thought,
understand with Rhaenyra because of what she's lost. But season 2 comes along, and you just sat there while she contemplates for 8 episodes about what to do.
preach, brother. Honestly,
And I'm just thinking every single episode, I didn't have this in season 1, but every episode in season 8, I've had my old eyes just roll, just going, "Oh,
yep,
not this shit again."
not this
Sorry for the
again.
language.
No, it's all right.
But it's just, I don't know what they're doing with the character. It annoys me. Episode 8 completely ruined them both, because you got Rhaenyra saying to Addison, "Oh, I've got to kill Aegon now," which is exactly what Addison was fearful of. And she says, "Oh, I don't know what she said exactly, but it was pretty much along the lines, 'Oh, I understand, as long as me and Helena can whisper away.'"
Yeah, I
So
know.
it's
I mean, 8
it's
episodes ago, you were standing in front of him,
yeah,
in
you're
front of a
talking about
dragon.
yeah. And I mean, in general, I mean, Addison hasn't had a great relationship with Aegon throughout both seasons, but she's still a mother, It's,
Exactly, and she's
and she
made
was
no. I think she's made no. There's been no kind of. I don't know. There's been no build up that she doesn't give a shit about Aegon. If anything, she should be caring for him more because he's in a vulnerable position
yeah.
now.
I mean, I know we spoke about it briefly, and when we were doing the ranking, she was fearful that Rhaenyra was going to kill her children in season 1,
Yeah.
which is why she went on this path. And all of a sudden, it doesn't matter anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Where's your fiery spirit?
Exactly. You know what? That's
Where's
what
your mother's rage?
they're
Come on.
missing. They're missing fire and blood. That's what they're missing.
God, you know what? When I look back on episode 2 of season 2, and you got Aegon, breaking apart his father's thing, that's the kind of anger I expect from these two, not a
Yeah.
drunk. I was just like, oh, I don't know what's happening.
Where's the passion? Where's the
Oh,
fire?
where is it?
Where?
It's not
Yeah, you're
there.
right. It's not.
They're
It's
just
not.
docile.
That's right. They're too passive. They're too peaceful. And I'm like, I mean, to be asking for peace on it by episode 3, I'm like, love, the war is in full swing. You aren't getting anything. And even
It's
if
just like,
the other thing is, even if the pair of them wanted peace, are those the two to make peace happen?
yeah, and I
Probably
mean,
not.
you think Jace is going to allow peace? You think Daemon is? You think Aegon is? They're not going to allow peace.
Not a chance.
You think Daemon's just going to? Oh, okay. Aegon can live. Aemon, Helena, or I believe whatever her name is. But no, Jace isn't going to allow peace to happen. Aegon and Aemond, he pretty much wants to kill them.
Yep.
He doesn't want this to end. So I don't know. They're just got me pumped up now.
No, it's true. I mean, yeah, I'd love to know what those following in the chat are thinking about season 2. What were the highs and the lows? Because the more and more we talk about it, the more and more there isn't that many highs. And
Yeah.
I know the writers were, under it from HBO or from the writer's strike or the budget cuts and whatnot. But some of the decisions they've made have been pretty damn sus.
It's like the only reminders we have of Lucerys' death even happening is through Jace. The only reminders of Jaehaerys' death happening is through Aegon. Like, where's Rhaenyra's anger? Where's Alicent's
Exactly.
anger? You know, we saw it
Exactly.
in episode 1, disappeared in episode 2.
Yeah. It's like
Instead, Rhaenyra's angry at Daemon because he went and chopped some boy's head off.
he actually took action and did something for the family.
So, oh, you can't do that. It's like, we're in war. What do you mean?
Exactly. Like book Rhaenyra, from what we know, she was all about that. She was, and they were a unified. I think the other thing that annoyed me was the fact that they had to give us some sort of conflict between them two as well. Yeah, it was well acted, and don't get me wrong, I think it was episode 2 when we got that scene, and it was fantastically acted. But that didn't sit well with me. The fact that they had to bring some conflict between the two of them, and it was like that. We know from the book that Daemon backed Rhaenyra every step of the way, and whatever he did for Rhaenyra.
Yeah, and then obviously we had the Nettles conflict, which I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna add another conflict between Daemon and Rhaenyra, but obviously there was that Nettles thing in the book.
Oh, about him.
Oh yeah, about the rumor of him screwing Nettles.
Yeah, I was going to say him potentially being in a relationship with
really, personally, I think it was just his like daughter or something.
Yeah,
but it's because obviously from what we know, only those with dragon blood can become dragons, from what we understand.
true.
So it's a bit, yeah.
Right, Winds of Winter. Do you think we'll ever get the Winds of Winter, Vargr?
I think we'll get it. It's just I don't know if he's had several rewrite. I know we've had a few sample chapters. I personally haven't read them. But from what I know, that it's looking good. It's just he's taken too long to do it, and I think it's just because people have all these expectations. And I have a feeling season 8 of Game of Thrones may have halted his progress.
You think?
I mean, yeah, how badly that was. Because obviously, I do think Dumb and Dumber had some tips from what was going to happen.
Yep.
From George, which is where we obviously got Jon being a Targaryen.
Yep.
So I have a feeling when season 8 came out and there was a load of backlash, I have a feeling he might have scrapped most of it. I don't know. It's just he's taken too long. I can understand people's frustration, but I mean, what can you expect? He is also an old man now, so there's obviously that. Wasn't he in his like 40s or 30s when he started doing Game of Thrones?
He's been doing it. I think he's been writing it since the 80s.
Yeah, so obviously it was a while ago. I don't know if he's just like lost passion of it, but if he lost passion, then he wouldn't keep doing all this like TV stuff and all that. I don't know. Like I said, he's got his hands in too many egg baskets. Yeah, that's me.
Hey, you know what? It's fair, right? It's fair. I mean, I've got another article just pulling up here, and it's like, when we get in the Winds of Winter, and it kind of breaks down how many pages he's told the media over the years, and how long he thinks it's going to take him to finish it. Like
Hasn't the number of pages flip-flopped though? Flip-flopped. So he said like a higher number of pages and then a lower number of pages elsewhere.
Yeah. Sometimes he's saying it's going to take him 400 pages. The next time he's saying he's done 1100, but the book's going to be bigger than Storm of Swords, which means it's going to take him another 500-600 pages. So
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me.
I know he said that he's already finished multiple character arcs.
Yeah,
and
so
isn't he writing the next book alongside it?
That was a big rumor, that he was writing A Dream of Spring at the same time. Now, I don't think that's happening. That'd be cool that would be unreal. Imagine that, right? We get it drop in 2025 sometime, and then in 2026 he's like, ta-da, A Dream of Spring. That'd be unreal.
But yeah, that is something I heard, but yeah, I don't know if we'll get it. Maybe we will. Maybe he'll pull Fast One, and when he dies, they both come out, and turns out they've been written for years, and he's been lying. I don't know.
Do you think then? Because that's a really good point. Do you think that they've deliberately delayed the Winds of Winter, like HBO or him have delayed the Winds of Winter?
I don't think HBO has the legal rights to even do that. He's publisher, maybe. Whether he's actually delayed it,
or George Martin himself, yeah. Whether he's delayed it himself, yeah.
he
That's
could have,
another
but I
option.
don't see why he'd go through all the frustration of having fans message him why the hell's the Winds of Winter if he's just delaying it. Yeah, I don't know if he's just waiting for everyone to forget about it, so the expectations are lower.
I mean, we're never going to forget about the Long Night. We're never going to forget about the Bells. We're never going to forget about the Iron Throne. We're never going to forget about.
We're never going to forget about season 8 as a whole.
Season 8 as a whole. You're right. We're never going to forget about the fact that how they made Bran the king.
Yeah,
it's just so fucking.
Yeah, obviously when it comes
stupid.
Obviously when it comes to book writing, there's plenty of more creativity you can do because it's all imagination.
Yeah, agree.
So with the TV series, they have to stop at certain due to budget.
Agree.
But there is no budget with a book. I suppose there's just time, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm hoping it comes soon. I know there's like a 2027 target or 2026, but that keeps happening. I mean, that's happened since as long as I can remember, where he said, "Oh, it may come out this date," but then doesn't. Yeah,
I've got that here. Let me just
I do think age has something to do with it, though. He's getting up there in age. He might want to do different things to spend his time with.
That's true, and spending his money and enjoying himself. You're right, which is not the answer I want to hear, but it's probably that's what my head is
I
saying.
think people won't have an issue with it if he just comes out and says, "Oh, I haven't been writing as much as I should have because of such and such," but he's not doing that.
Yeah.
He's just making excuses. It's like all these places he's going to. It's like, "Oh, I haven't touched my computer from this date to this date." Like,
We've just read in the Not blog.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. We've literally just read that in the Not blog.
This point, what are you doing? Like a page? You're not even doing a page a day at this point. God. I mean, treat it like an essay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, lastminute.com, but just smash it out in a few days. Maybe that's what he needs, right? It's just a week just to smash this out. Just like a dissertation, lastminute.com. It's tough though, man, because that story is getting it felt like it was growing in A Dance with Dragons.
Do you think he's reached a dead end, that he has no creativity?
I mean, let's go through right the let's put something up a bit more visually appealing. Let's go back to this article. Let's talk about this.
Because obviously he's said that he's finished a few character arcs. Well, which characters has he not finished? Which characters is he having an issue with?
I know he's done Tyrion. So let's start there, right? Tyrion's obviously in Essos, and he's going to be coming over to Westeros with Daenerys. And I think there's going to be some sort of... He's either going to stop off and find Tysha along the way, or they're going to go straight from Essos, Marine, go through all of the free cities, maybe pick up some people along the way, and then I reckon the end of the book, him Daenerys are going to touch down on either Dragonstone or on the shores of Westeros. So you can almost kind of, if you finish Tyrion, by default, you've basically finished Daenerys' story.
Yeah, but do you think when he says finishes, like, oh, I know the ending, but I haven't finished the ways to that?
I've got this impression now he doesn't know how to end this. And to your point earlier, I think he's under that much pressure from the fan base to, one, like deliver it full stop, two, be coherent and satisfy all of these fan theories and all of these,
Yeah.
all of the different people in the fandom. But three, to your other point, he's probably got to change shit up now because of how the reaction went to season 8. Imagine he's thinking, oh, I know the ending because Bran's the king and the White Walkers die in Winterfell and this and that and the other, and fucking Arya
I have
Stark.
a sneaky feeling that whole Bran is king didn't come from him. I think they just did that.
I reckon they've misinterpreted that, and he's told them Bran's going to be the king, but and maybe we're getting into theory, territory here, but I'm under the impression that Bran's the king of On the God's Eye somehow, or he's the king of the others, or I'm not going to say the Night King, or he's going to be the one to control a king, maybe, I don't know, or he's going to be the one to control Jon Snow, maybe, because Jon's the king. I don't know. I've just got this impression he's not going to be the king sitting on the Iron Throne leading up the council in King's Landing.
No, I don't think it's in his character. Yeah, I don't know.
So
yeah, I don't.
To your question, whether he doesn't know the ending, it's how'd you end this, man? How'd you end this in 2 books?
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, it looks like there's plenty more to do, and I don't think you can do it in 2 books.
Yeah. In 2 books, he's got to get Daenerys across the pond. He's got to get King's Landing destroyed. He's got to get the White Walkers down past the wall. He's then theoretically, I don't think things will stop at Winterfell. I think they will win that fight, and I think everything will converge on the Isle of Faces.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, if it ends at Winterfell, it just seems just like season 8.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Which is not what we
might as well just written the transcript.
Exactly. Then we know that season 8 definitely come from George.
Yeah, but I mean, discussing Winds Winter is hard. It's been years since I've read the books. I probably need to reread them for a proper theory thing. But
there's a great I'll add that to the list, by the way. There's a great, I'm going to find it for you now and put it in the chat. There's a great video by, I think his name's Bridge 4. Let me just find it. The Winds.
Oh, I've watched some of those videos where it's like details like the battles that happen.
Got ya.
And they look great.
Right, I'll put this in the chat. So that I've just put it in the chat. That is a complete guide to the Winds of Winter, and it recaps the story up until now. I must have watched that video about 5 times now. How sad am I? But
I'll give it a read. Or listen to it.
Well, it recaps stuff that's happened in the book so far, and then it also goes on to what's likely to happen in the Winds of Winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a watch.
Yeah,
Say
maybe,
that.
maybe once you've done that, we can have a bit of a Winds of Winter theory discussion.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, definitely. I think with in total, I think with George, I do think he is having some struggle with actually finishing, which is why it's taken him so long. Yeah, perhaps there's some characters where he feels like he didn't do them right.
Maybe so. Maybe so. You know what? It's just such a big story, and I think there's going to be a lot of deaths in the Winds of Winter, just to maybe
Oh,
converge.
definitely.
You know what I mean? Like the POVs and stuff have got to converge. He's going to have to sack some characters off. He needs to keep some characters alive because we haven't got certain people in certain places of the world.
Yeah, I think that's one thing he's got to do right. It definitely can't be, most main characters surviving, which has never really been his thing anyway. Yeah.
So we've got Watcher on the Wall saying no, let alone Dream of Spring. So I really hope that that's not the case. Watcher on the Wall. I really hope what we do get the Winds of Winter. And I think because unless he like drops down dead tomorrow, I think we'll get the Winds of Winter. Now, whether we get a Dream of Spring, that's going to be up to what he prioritizes after the Winds of Winter. And I don't think he's going to prioritize a Dream of Spring.
I have a feeling that we're not. If we do get Winter Winter, it won't be for another 3-5 years.
I don't think it'll be as long.
I don't think it's coming out. It may come out in 2027. Hopefully it's sooner, but we got him going on bloody holiday for a month. I
And
don't think that
visiting
will
this
happen.
person and that person and the other. Yeah.
Chatting gibberish on his blog post.
Hey, we were talking about AI before this we went live. I reckon he should be using bloody AI to get some of these blog posts done.
Yeah, save yourself an hour from how long it took you just to write down the
Exactly.
schedule. Okay.
Put that hour to use on the Winds of Winter, George.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
do.
I
I do
mean,
feel for him, especially the way season 8 was reacted. I do. I do have a feeling that halted stuff. Yeah, I don't know if after season 8 he took a big look and said, "Well, is this what they want?"
I reckon that's a really good point, because I watched a video probably about 6 months ago now, and someone basically scoured the might have been Preston Jacobs, but he just scoured the pages and it was like Bran, the language used in Bran's chapters, ever since chapter 1 indicates some sort of relation to a king or him being a king. Now, and I think equally looking at Daenerys, I think she's going to go mad, but I think it's going to be something more to do with Fagon or Aegon or Young Griff. And the fact that we didn't have him in the show, I think is going to be that's going to be a massive difference. I just don't know how that makes sense of Bran being the king at the end. That's why I'm drawn more towards he's the king of the others or he's the king of the children of the forest or something.
I mean, yeah. We have a lot of obviously theories from the early writing, but I think it's safe to say that he doesn't always go with all of them.
Yeah,
So Bran being king, it may have just been one of those things that he threw out in the early writing of the book.
you reckon he's changed his
Um,
mind?
I mean, it's been how many years now?
12, 13, yeah.
I
Long.
mean, even from the first book, it's been years. So I don't. He may have changed his mind from then.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's been a long time now. Maybe, yeah, because he's this whole Gardner writer, isn't he? Maybe he's changed his tune about Bran being a king.
Yeah, because I mean, he's thrown out loads of like triplets in his books, which turn out to be nothing. So that might have just been one of them.
True.
Yeah. I do think he needs to get a move on though. It's just like
Exactly.
stop going outside your ass. I know it's not healthy.
Just
Use your little typewriter. Okay,
finish the
start
damn book,
writing.
George. Exactly.
Oh god, I
Oh
don't know if
man.
it's because he needs more. Like every time he makes lore, he creates a book. I know we've got Fire and Blood. We have Blood and Fire apparently coming.
Yeah, part 2. Yeah.
So I don't know if he needs these, sprinkles for people to read before they can actually start reading Winds of Winter.
It was like filling in the
Because
gaps
we've had a
sort of
ton,
thing.
yeah. Because we've had we've quite a few books since then. Obviously we've had stuff about Targaryen kings, which I mean was the Dance of Dragons story before or after the last book?
Dance with Dragons came out, I think it was season 1 or season 5. A Dance with Dragons.
No, I meant the actual war between the Targaryens.
Oh,
Did that come out after the last book? Because obviously the Pact of Ice and Fire, he may have needed that
I
for people
see.
to make sense in the Winds of Winter, maybe.
Oh, I see. So you reckon? I get you. That's what I mean. Is he deliberately throwing in, and maybe actually the whole, what we got in episode 1 of House of the Dragon with Viserys and talking about the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's kind of deliberately throwing in Easter eggs here and there, or maybe it's just opportunity for him to do so.
That could be as well. I do think there has to be something holding him back, though.
There's got to be.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have taken this long. Because I mean, if you look at other writers, they can put out a new book in a year, but they're not exactly
Must be,
as
yeah.
big as Westeros is and the Song of Ice and Fire.
Very true.
I think another series you can probably compare it to is Lord of the Rings. Their books.
Yep.
But
I know there's a lot of the fan base talking about the Mount Rushmore of writers. Let me see if I can get that up. The Mount Rushmore of writers. And it was saying I think it's something like of fantasy writers. It's like what's his face that you just mentioned, Lord of the Rings man. Tolkien.
Tolkien, yeah.
Harry Potter woman. Rowling. J.K. Rowling. There's someone else.
I should know their names, and it's just not
the Dune guy. What's the Dune man called?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, Frank Herbert. I think he'll be on there. But the fact is, the common thread amongst them three, and not with George Martin, is he hasn't finished his book, whereas the rest have. They finished the story coherently. It might not be perfect, and it might be not exactly what the people want, but they finished it.
Yeah. They yeah, and I mean, I think with Tolkien, his books came out a lot quicker. I think there was only like a 2-year time frame between each of them, maybe.
Oh my god!
Maybe even 1.
Yep.
But I think it all depends on writers. I mean,
Tolkien didn't have another 65,000 projects, though, did he? I imagine this was his only project.
No, this was like 1950s, wasn't it? So it's
exactly.
Like, there was no
distractions.
Probably is it, to be honest. He's just got too many distractions.
Yeah, I think he has. I've just read on his Twitter he's got something else coming out as well.
Oh, for God's sake!
Stop
it!
I know. Some dark. What's he calling it? Dark Winds. Dark Winds isn't about right and wrong. It's personal. Season 1 and 2 are now streaming on Netflix, so I think he's involved with that as well.
And I mean, I know he started off as a TV writer, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe that's just his passion, Just maybe I didn't even hear about this Dark Wind stuff until now.
No,
Third
I've
season
only read
coming
about
soon.
that today. Yeah, I've only read about that today.
But is it like probably House of the Dragon maybe, where he's only on like maybe one episode?
True. You think though, you don't know how much time he might only be involved with maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but it might be to do with like all of the legality stuff and the contract stuff as well. It's just any excuse not to write about the damn book that we all want.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hopefully it comes. I think as the years pass, I think just people are just losing hope in it ever coming, because obviously his age is getting up there.
yeah.
How old is he now? Let me just.
I think he's 70s.
George
Gotta
R.
be
Martin.
70s, isn't he?
75.
Oh my god.
Okay, so he is
He's getting there.
sadly within the last stages of his life, possibly, and I don't see him doing it when he's 85, 90. So really, I think it either comes out in the next
couple of years.
I think if those books come out in the next 5, 10 years, that's the only time we're ever going to get them.
So here's a question, and maybe we finish on this, right? Let's say The Winds of Winter comes out. Do you think it's easier to write A Dream of Spring than it is The Winds of Winter?
I think it may be harder for him because he's got to finish it.
In a coherent manner that appeases the fans.
It could be easier if what happens in A Winds of Winter, it gives you a direct line of what's going to happen.
I know what you mean. I know it's not going to be obvious, but you're right. If it's obvious to George, maybe not to the readers.
But I think he's going to have written at least some of it already. Which, I mean, if he's finishing people's storylines, then he's obviously written some of it.
True. And I guess he could be thinking slightly beyond, like let's say Tyrion's storyline finishes on chapter 10. Surely he kind of half knows what's going on in chapter 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure he has like bullet points for it. But yeah, just there's a lot of people saying let's get Winds of Winter, but the thing is, how long's Dream of Spring is going to take? It's which I think is why many people are saying we'll never get any ending.
I hope not, man. I hope I'm gonna finish up with some positive thinking, because I really hope that this story, I think it'll be easier to finish A Dream of Spring, because at the moment there's a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of outstanding stuff that I reckon is going to have to be crammed into The Winds of Winter, like the White Walker stuff, like how the fucking hell Daenerys gets from one side of the world to the other, whilst also killing all the Carls, getting Tyrion on her side and traveling all the way over to Westeros in a whole book.
Yep. I think on a brighter note though, I'm of the opinion even if we don't get Winds of Winter or Dream of Spring, I think this world is still enjoyable enough. There's so much in this world you could explore through TV.
Agree. And the lore and the backstories, I agree.
Yeah,
I guess though,
obviously just how they treat that work.
Agree. Because right now, for season 2 of House of the Dragon, they've done it okay. They did it well in season 1. Season 2, not so much. I think if we got, I don't think if someone, let's say, he passed away tomorrow, and they got, I don't know, who's another fantasy author, Brandon Sanderson, to come in. Don't know if you know Brandon, but
No.
or whoever.
I have
Yeah,
to.
you want
I have
to be
to. I'll
fair.
have to look him up to actually know his. I'm
If
bad with
you're,
names.
if he, I didn't know him until about 2 or 3 months ago, pal.
What's the name? Brandon.
I'll put him in the chat for you. Brandon Sanderson.
Okay, yeah, that's him.
He's done some okay books, which I'm reading at the minute. I'm not really quite into them, but he's done some fantasy books that are on par with George Martin's.
Oh, that's a.
So yeah,
He's
worth
done quite a
checking him
few
out.
book series, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't you be this quick, George R.R. Martin?
Yeah,
This man's
exactly.
not in his 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not even in his 50s yet.
No, he's pumping them out as well. I think my point to bringing up him though is, let's say George passes away tomorrow and they're bringing him to finish off a Winds of Winter and a Dream of Spring. I think that's borderline an impossible task. But given that I've got this impression that the Winds of Winter is going to include so much detail about all of the major plot threads, it's going to be easier for someone to pick up a Dream of Spring than it would be the Winds of Winter and the Dream of Spring. Because right now, I actually don't know how this story is going to kind of converge. I know the main plot threads, but I don't know how this is going to end. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm hoping he can do it in 2 books.
Yeah,
but there's so much to finish.
yeah.
And maybe that's the issue. Maybe he's done too much that he doesn't know how. Yeah, it's. We'll have to see.
I think we'll have to see.
Hopefully, it's great. I do think the expectations everyone has gotten to him, and it's probably what's taken so long.
Yeah, and the Game of Thrones season 8 reaction as well.
Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion he scrapped a lot of what he was doing after that. Yeah,
interesting.
because I know people were expecting him to get it finished during COVID because everyone was indoors, so he must have written quite a bit during that.
Maybe that's what he needs, is another pandemic.
Oh, please
to
don't.
get it over the line.
Don't jinx us.
Right, I think we're at the end of that tonight, Vargr. It's been great to have you on, pal.
Yeah, anytime. It's been fun.
Thanks for coming on, pal. Great. I know we I kind of want to take us off before we start ranting on more about Sarah Hess as well, because we'll end up getting cancelled.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Anything you want to plug? Twitter, Insta, if you've got it. I don't know.
No, I'm not right now. Maybe in the next few months.
The next one. Good lad. Okay. Well, if you joined us in the chat, great to have you with us. Thanks again for joining us, Vargr. Great to have you with me as well, pal.
It's been great.
Thanks, pal. We've actually got the House of the Dragon season 1 and 2 ranking video that is now with the editor. So we've got the video on demand coming soon for that. We've got some Final Fantasy content coming soon as well. And we've got more to come from Vargr and myself about House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and A Song of Ice and Fire. So if you've joined us in the chat, great to have you with us. Drop a like, smash the subscribe button, be part of the JGITW community, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.